Dan, hit me with a couple merch messages. Let's go.
Okay, I've got one here from Vincent. Linus, out of Nfibia, Intel, and AMD, who's overall the biggest liar? And out of those, which lie was the most personally offensive? Why did you ask this on the Spicy WAN show?
Corporations is a liar sometimes, right? Wow. You specifically called out Intel, AMD, and Nvidia. Now, here's the thing. Companies are made up of departments, which are made up of, hold on. Companies are made up of business units, which are made up of departments, which are made up of teams, which are made up of people. So, if I was to zero in on an egregious lie, I could pick any one of them. Man, I just about pulled an all-nighter, okay, when AMD's bulldozer processors came out, because our AMD rep at the time told me they were freaking awesome. Fucking awesome. He was like, man, these CPUs slap bitches harder than Dana White.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm trying to get into character, okay?
You're going to kill the pair of us.
Oh.
Anyway, he tells me... Get it together, Luke. Anyway, he tells me that the CPU's amazing. At the time, right, I am ghostwriting for Hardware Canucks, which was owned by NCIX. And I'm working on like our launch day, coverage. I'm trying to overclock it or whatever. And I'm sitting here, I'm benchmarking late into the night going, this thing's a piece of shit. But I was told it's great. But it's the middle of the night, right the night before the embargo, because I only got it like that day. And I'm sitting here going, everyone else is going to make me look like an idiot. I can't publish these numbers. This thing is dog slow. And then it comes out, and it's like, it sucks. And I'm sitting here going, well, that would have been great to know. But, I mean, okay, I was about to say, that's not AMD's fault. AMD does have a culture of overhyping crap products that suck. It's usually closer to, white lies, I guess. Or I don't know if they're white lies. It's usually closer to bending the truth. I get, is it? AMD lies. Okay. Intel lies. Lots. Nfibia is just a bunch of insidious fucks. Like, let's face it. They have a culture of being insidious fucks. And don't kid yourself. Just because Intel dresses nicer and is more respectful to you doesn't mean these are businesses, right? They exist to separate you from your money. However, there are people there. I want to go back to the other side of this coin. Whether it's Nvidia or whether it's Intel or whether it's AMD, I have met some of the most genuine, passionate, enthusiastic people that I've ever encountered in the industry. Because all of these companies, insidious fucks that they are profitable, which allows them to spend lots of money to attract super passionate, super intelligent people to work on their products. So what I'm trying to say is that corporations is a liar sometimes, absolutely. But corporations is actually also full of enthusiastic, amazing, highly intelligent, honest people. Right? Like, I remember running into one of the people that advocated for us for Skull Trail at Intel. And he was just like, yeah, that was like my passion project. I was like, you're awesome. That was so cool. It was basically Intel's server platform in gamers clothing and overclockable at the time, right? It was awesome. Bleeding edge, made no commercial sense, but they did it, right? And it's the same thing for companies like Nvidia. Man, does NVIDIA ever have great engineers. Like, these are people that are just so smart that you sit down and talk to them for like 15 minutes. Like, holy shit, I could have gone to school for a year and I wouldn't have learned half as much as I did just now, right? And so when I say these companies are just like full of liars and deceivers, it's true. But these companies are also full of honest, amazing, passionate people who would do it for $0. So what? They're making money. That's great. They should. But they would have done it anyway, which is amazing. You got to love that passion, right? You know what? Let's have a spicy WAN show. It's not one of those companies, but the closest that I would say that I've been to being lied to outright by a company, I would say this is fair to say because it was directly from the CEO and it was a direct deception, something that they would have had intimate knowledge of. This was around a key product launch. It wasn't from, a low-level sales rep or marketing rep or even a high-level sales rep or marketing rep. This was directly from the CEO. And I was told from Razer, okay, that their gaming switches, back when they first released Razer switches, were not rebadged Kaiwa Cherry knockoff switches. I was told that they were Razer switches inside and out, engineered by Razer. And that was at best, a misrepresentation. At the very best. Because they were Kaiwa Cherry clones. Moving the actuation point 0.2 of a millimeter is not engineering a switch. Okay? The Roamer G is engineering a fucking switch. And you can say what you want about the Roamer G switch. Okay? But that switch was engineered by Omron with input from Logitech. The Razer gaming switch was not engineered by Razer. It involved engineering. You'd be amazed how hard it is to build a screwdriver. And if it's hard to build a screwdriver, I promise you, it's hard to build a keyboard switch. It's a complex mechanism. It's small. The cost needs to be low. It must be low. It can't be $1 a switch. Like you can't, I mean, you can sell $300 keyboards, but most people will not buy a $300 keyboard. There's a limit, okay? And it's got to be reliable within that limit. Millions of times you have to be able to press it. I get it. There was engineering involved, but you did not engineer a switch. A Razer gaming switch, at least back then, right? Okay, so this is like 7-8 years ago, right? At least back then, it was a Cherry clone. That's it. I love that. This is great. DBoss 2289 float plane says Linus wants to be spicy today, and Luke doesn't have any power to stop him this time. He could. Okay, he could pull the mic. You get the fuck out of here. So there. I think that's the closest I've ever been to just like, or I think that's the most egregiously I have ever been misled by a company. And to be clear, I'm not counting anything that was unintentional. Like even if you go back and look at like the principled technology scandal at Intel, I had a theory back during that time that no one would ever go on the record and talk to me about, but I'll say that my theory is basically there were ignorant executives and their egos involved. There was skilled people who didn't have the time or chance to review things involved. Basically, bottom line, don't attribute to malice what you can attribute to incompetence or whatever the quote was. I suspect that was a clown show comedy of errors, not a willful attempt to deceive the enthusiast community, who are the only people watching those stupid presentations anyway, and who were obviously going to catch that. That I don't classify the same way. I just don't. Whereas when you tell me, yeah, we built this thing from scratch and you like actually didn't, that's different.